Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel. We are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I'm going to talk about finding your strength and power again after narcissistic abuse, right? How is it best to say this? Right, if you'd have told me, right, go back like 7 years ago, I had a successful career and a good business. I've done some really big things in my life. If you'd have said, so I sold my house to move countries, I had 6 figures from selling my house. I invested it all in the move because to even apply for the visa, I had to show that I'd invested in the country at loss, risk of loss, all these things, right? If you'd have said, fast forward in time, you're going to go homeless twice, you're going to lose all your money, you're going to be too ill to work in a country where you can't get welfare, can't get a job, but you will be okay and you will learn things and you will go through some of the most highest level anxiety of your life. You will lose your sense of safety and security because I was very much a home person. Like, you know, everything that external that you thought mattered, that made you feel safe, you will go through things with people, they will treat you in a way that you don't deserve, that is not even anything like who you are, what you stand for. You'll be betrayed at levels that will blow your mind. You'll go through abuse levels that you will not understand, that it doesn't make any sense. You will understand why people can't move on in their life, what actually holds them back from manifesting, why nothing you've ever done, how everything that's ever got you where you were doesn't work anymore. You'll question everything about yourself, your faith, your life, your values, how it actually works, because what you're going to get is not going to be anything like what you kind of have put out energetically, but it's going to be related to trauma. It's going to be related to understanding something bigger on the planet than you have any idea about. I'd have said, you're out of your mind, no thank you. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. To think I'd get through any of that, no thank you. If you'd have said, not only will you understand this at such a level, you'll be able to help people transform from it quicker than they can believe, and you'll believe in terms of what I now know and how people can actually heal, transform and radically change their lives. But if you'd have said not that long ago that I would spend any time on the internet talking about narcissists, I'd have also said, you're out of your mind. In fact, if I'd have got like a job description or anyone had told me that this is what I was supposed to do, I'd have really, really said no thank you. In fact, when I got the inspiration to do it from the divine, I was pretty much like, you're out of your mind. I don't ever want to talk about them, think about them, anything like that, right? So why am I telling you this? There is a thing in our life, right, where if you will choose yourself and your guidance system and your spirituality, whatever that means to you, right, then you will be led into your best chapters, your best life. But life's a co-creation, and co-creation with the divine. And I believe your life isn't a random event, it's a divine assignment. I believe that some things we go through for a reason. I don't believe you're meant to go through narcissism. I believe we're meant to heal through it and now rebalance the planet. I know it's not part of your spiritual awakening to have to go through that. Shadow work is very different to that, and I've explained that before, and I'll explain it again if you want me to. But it's a distortion on the planet that's got out of hand that we're meant to be evolving out of. And I do know that some of us are here to guide people through that because it's about time, right? But what I will tell you about all of that is I've got no doubt in my mind that you can do impossible things, out of your mind things. In my mind, I couldn't do any of the things I could think of. In my mind, the random events that have happened since then and the way I'm even able to live in the way I do and do the things I do is because I don't rely on my mind that only knows about the past and the predictable realm, because I'm working differently with manifestation, with consciousness, with God, with the universe, and I'm leaning back in surrender into what that should be. And therefore, I'm available for miracles and other things in my life that are out of my mind. Right? My mind can't control them or create them. They're beyond that. So I understand how to manage my energy and also be a cooperative co-creator with the universe, which means I'm open to my purpose. I say yes. I get out of my mind, out of my mind, right? So what your mind thinks you can overcome One, you can't heal trauma on the level of the mind. I keep saying it, I keep teaching you. Feelings and thinkings are very different things. What you think you can handle, what you think you can overcome, what you think you can do is like, you can't even imagine it. What you think you're too old for, what you think you're too tired for, what you think you're too sick for. I almost died twice. And look how much I seem to be very much alive. It's like, you know, nothing your mind thinks is possible is true. Because your mind lives in the predictable realm of what it's experienced. So it can only grasp its current reality and what it sees as cause and effect. It's real, but it's not true. Beyond your mind is consciousness. Beyond your mind is an awareness, energy. And energy can change form at any time. Pain can turn into something else. Anger, all of it is useful fuel, but you can transmute the energy and use it to your advantage in a different way, because we're really just great big transmitters and transmuters of energy. So when you understand what you think you're capable of isn't a thing. They've even shown this in the like Guinness Book of Records and the Olympics and stuff. Like every time a new record is made, someone else exceeds that record, because now the mind thinks, well, that's possible. So now someone else can actually, you know, exceed it, because the mind will get behind it. They've also proven that when there's a movie where they blindfold the athlete and he's got like, I think he's carrying someone on his back and he's crawling on this pitch. And they blindfold him because if he could see where the end was, they've proven this, that he'd give up a lot sooner. When he can't see where the end is, his mind isn't attached. So he's just literally working until he can't go any further. And when he's not seeing the end, he goes a lot further than when he's not blindfolded, because the mind perceives something, assumes something, but it's not what you're capable of. It's just what the mind has assumed. So accept the fact that you've got no idea what you're capable of. None. In fact, what you're living is no indication of that whatsoever. What you've done before is no indication of it whatsoever. In fact, if you didn't know what you knew, you'd often achieve probably more, you know? Because now you've got ideas and stories and experiences and evidence of what you don't think you can do. None of it's true. It's real, but it's not true. And so how hard you think it is to recover is an idea. It's not true. People recover very quickly sometimes from things, right? What you think you can have and other people can have isn't true. It's real to you, but it's not true. How ill you think you are isn't even true, because your body can heal quicker than you can imagine. I've done it in my own life. I've seen it in other people's lives. So just understand that your concept of what you're capable of, right, is not true. You're capable of so much more, but what are you going to fuel yourself with? Like, you've got to start. When my life looked impossible, because also, as well, in this story, you could say, well, and you'll find yourself in a country where you can't get welfare, you can't get a job with no money, so like you're going to have to pull yourself together, and you know, like in the worst situations. I would have said, no, thank you, you're out of your mind. Except for, of course, no one would have given me that thing to know in advance, because of course I would have never said I wanted to do it, you know? But from doing it, I've now shown myself like what's true in the universe. And now I do understand how it works. Now I do understand trauma. Now I do understand the only thing that will get in the way of your manifestations, and how much sometimes you do need to be out of your mind. Out of your mind, into your body, healing your trauma, dealing with your emotions on an emotional level, out of your mind. Because when you get out of your mind, you do things that are out of your mind. And in your mind is just a limited reality that half of us don't want to be living, because it's not the reality we want. Out of your mind, out of the construct, out of the limitation, right? You've got no idea what you're capable of. So stop limiting it. Don't speak into your existence things that are actually limiting. What you've lived is not any indication of what you can experience next, right? So I did a video on reinventing yourself, but like some of the things we go through, we wouldn't have signed up for. But what we think is in our way isn't in our way. It's not in your way. In terms of, I don't think you get it if you want to overcome something, you're perfectly capable of doing it. You've got everything inside of you that you actually could overcome the things that you really need to. If you're doing things for validation, ego, external stuff, then that's different, because the universe doesn't get behind that in the same way. But your true desires actually are meant for you. What you decide you don't get to have because of what you're living is a decision you're making in your mind, and you're allowing your mind to limit your experience. But if you decide that it will be fine and you'll be okay, I'll be okay, then you don't have to see how, right? You don't have to see how. You do not have to see how. All you have to know is one thing you can get behind, which is that you are capable of much more than you think you are. Just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you can't. Imagine if every baby said, well, you know what? I don't know how to walk. I've seen that other toddlers walk, but I'm a baby and I don't know how to. I am not going to even bother with that. Then we'd have a lot of like adult babies on the floor that don't ever walk, right? Baby just knows that it will have to walk. It doesn't know how to walk. It tries, right? It just does. It just goes ahead. So why don't we get out of our minds a little bit? Because what you've experienced has it's actually got no relevance to what you could experience. Even what you're experiencing now, but only you can choose to break free. Only you can choose to do the work. Only you can choose to like drop the narrative, drop the cycle with the narcissist. Stop obsessing over them. Stop fighting against your reality. Stop pushing against the people that won't change, that you have decided need to change for you to be happy. All you can do is take yourself back and break all these chains, and then wonder what you're capable of. Dream again. Come back home into like, oh, universe blow my mind. Sometimes I say that. I don't know. Like, sometimes I don't know fully what I want, because it's not really materially... I mean, I love to experience things, but I don't get turned on by... I get turned on by the experience of life I could have. You know, the freedom, the experiences I might enjoy. And so sometimes I just say, blow my mind in the best way, right? We get fixed, we can have goals and stuff, but when we're having goals to escape from something, we're still in the same thinking. Einstein said you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it. If you create from, I need to escape this, and just get somewhere else, and then you'll keep creating things you need to escape from. If you come back home and decide to stop resisting your reality, what you resist persists. What you resist persists in the universe, because you're fighting against rather than accepting everything as it is. Right? And then changing the effect it has on you and your energy. So it doesn't matter to me personally. I teach my clients all the time. Imagine that there was a radio playing and the television was on, and the radio is the narcissist or the chaos of all the problems in your life. Turn it down. You get to choose how your energy is. I can be in peace with chaos around me. I can be in freedom. Even in a situation where I didn't have much, you know, I can still feel my freedom. I could feel my freedom. Even with no money, I could feel free. I could feel safe with no housing, no security, what people would call security, no savings. I decided to feel safe because feeling safe in my body was an internal game. And the more I could cultivate it, the more it manifested on the outside, and more things made me feel safer and safer and safer and safer. And now I live in a very safe, a crazy safe environment. Like, you know, when I used to live in a very chaotic environment, when I had to cultivate safety and peace first, energetically, then the universe showed up for me. I was saying, I be this, now match me. Snap. The universe plays snap with your energy and your emotions. You can do so much more than you think. Lots of love, guys. Stay out of your mind. And I'll speak to you soon.